Romanian deadlift is a great posterior chain exercise, but if you just do it normally, you will tend to use the muscle that is the stronger in that movement, and for most people, it's going to be the lower back. So most people, when they do a Romanian deadlift, the lower back will take over and compensate for the glutes and hamstring. Now I'm going to show you 3 different techniques you can use to target some muscle more than others. Now the first exercise you're going to be using is to increase glute activation. Karen is going to be setting up the band around her waist. Now you will use the band to create an horizontal resistance. It will pull you back, so you're going to have to use your glutes to bring yourself forward. So you have both the vertical resistance of the barbell and the horizontal resistance of the band. So you're going to grab the bar, stepping forward even a bit more. Of course, the farther away you step, the greater will be the resistance from the bands, the easier it is to target those glutes. So once you start, I want her to bring your hips a bit more forward. Don't walk, just bring your hips forward. Good. And squeeze your glutes as hard as possible. You squeeze your glutes as hard as possible from the start to tell your nervous system that is the muscle I want to use. Now, in the Romanian deadlift, don't focus on bending forward. It will lead to overusing the lower back. Focus on bringing your hips back as far as possible. So you're using the hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back, then hips forward, hips forward, hips forward. Good. And squeezing those glutes. Keep the bar close to you. You don't want the bar to move away from your body. Grab the bar with your hands. Squeeze the bar. Good. So hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back, hips forward. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Good. Keep the bar close. Hips back and forward. Good. You can put the bar down. Now the key coaching point are, don't think about bending forward. It's about hips back, hips forward. Then you want to keep the bar close to your body. If it shifts forward, the stress will be put on the lower back. So you want to keep the bar as close to your body as possible so that you will be able to focus on the glutes instead of the lower back. Now, if I want to use the Romanian deadlift to focus more on the hamstring, I'm going to use the reverse setup. The bands will be around your knees. It's mostly for support. Then she's going to grab the bar. You can also use dumbbells with this one, so you don't have the bands in the way. So create a bit more tension. What you want is you want to use the band to be able to not fall backwards while the tibias will be angled backward, increasing hamstrings activation. See, the angle of the tibia is more backwards. Again, grab the bar and up. Good. And up. Now, if she has good mobility, we can put the band a bit lower here, still providing support, increasing the range of motion. So that gives you a support point, allowing you to go more backwards than you would be able to stretching those hamstrings. Thank you. You can step out. So by going more backwards than you would be able to normally, you stretch the hamstring. One mechanical rule: the muscle being stretched the most is the muscle being recruited the most. So if you overstretch those hamstrings, then you will recruit them more. In the same line of thought, another method you can use is put the front portion of your feet on an elevated surface. That will also allow you to be a bit more backward. So same thing. And push those hips back. Good. Try to go even backward with your hips. More backward with your hips. Hips back, hips back, hips back, hips forward. Good. Remember, it's not how low you go. It's how far back you bring your hips. Normally, when someone cannot move their hips even further, I stop going down, because any further movement will simply load the lower back. So when you see that the hips can't go further, they can go there, that is our lower point. Because if she continue going down, she will simply shift the stress to the lower back instead of focusing on the hips and hamstrings. So these 3 tips will allow you to get more out of the Romanian deadlift and be able to focus the stress on either the hamstrings or the glutes instead of the lower back.